All right, Ferdinand, you've been in the e-commerce space for 7, 8 years, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
8 years. It's gonna be 8 years now.
Okay, wow, it's been a hell of a ride, I
It's
guess.
been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to ask you is, I was in e-commerce before. Actually, I started with that before I was doing, now I'm doing consulting and stuff like that. But yeah, e-commerce, it has a lot of that connotation of like, it's a scam, drop shipping, Alibaba, AliExpress, just shipping. People are not even shipping products these days. Sometimes they're just
Yeah, it's
scamming in
true.
Dubai or whatever. So yeah, what do you think about all that? Is it, yeah.
I I believe it's a world of sharks, which means that you have everything and nothing on this market. But many people that don't even know what they're really doing, they just try to launch something and they don't really care about neither the product or the client satisfaction, which is a big mistake. Because right now you're facing big platforms in marketplace like Amazon, like really big brands, Gymshark, everybody knows these, and they trust these brands. So if you arrive on the market and you pretend to be someone, pretend to have a branding, you're not shipping the product that you said, you're selling some crap packaging from China or whatever, it's not going to work. Not for you, not for the clients. You might have even problems, blocks. It's not scalable. So I would never advise to do this, even at the beginnings.
And I know you use a lot of paid ads. I've seen you gotten a lot of results with paid ads, even your clients, like I see all the time. But I tried myself, and honestly, with e-commerce, like it's kind of tough. Isn't it just gambling?
No, you can't say it's gambling. Gambling would be if you just run ads without even knowing what you're doing. You're recording some video in your bedroom or just putting a picture and that's it, or you boost your post on Instagram. That's not a way of running ads. There's a proper system where you set up your ads, you set up your pixel, you set up your conversions at events. And if you don't do that, of course, you will don't even know where that's coming from. Like the add to carts, where they're coming from which creative, from which angle. And there's a proper structure that you need to respect when it comes to your campaigns, to your ad sets, to your creatives, to your copywriting, of course. And you need to respect these step by step. Because otherwise, yes, of course, you can launch something, it's just going to dump and waste money. It's true that Meta is a cash machine, but both ways. I like to say it that way. It can be a negative cash machine if you don't know what you're doing and just putting money on Meta and Meta spends your money and you don't have any results. Or it can be a gold cash machine where day after day you have 3, 4, 5x ROAS on your products and you have just these consistent campaigns just generating sales.
Gotcha. And I mean, yourself, you sell like a course or some type of mentorship at the moment?
At the moment, not through paid ads. This is more something I do on the side, but my main business is still in e-commerce and having my own brands.
Yeah, because that's important because a lot of guys, they just stopped being in the e-commerce game and they
Yes.
start just teaching it. That's
Yeah, or
it.
selling
And they make more
courses.
money teaching it than actually doing it.
That's true.
And we see so many guys in Lambos just promoting their latest e-com course or whatever.
I'm not into this bling bling stuff too much
Yeah.
or materialistic thing, just showing, hey, I have the money and so on. I prefer being humble about it. But it's true that but it's true that my main business is still about my brands, and I'm totally transparent. If you go on my Instagram page, for example, you can see my brands, their names, their websites, and even with my mentees, that's just the thing. I always show my dashboards and what's working for me or not. And I wouldn't have the pretension of really making a course or a mentorship if I wasn't in the game right now, because sometimes these courses, they're so outdated that if you try these in late 2025 for the Q4, for example, it's not going to work because the techniques were already used 3-4 years ago. But since the algorithm changed, the way of doing creatives changed, the way of people buying on your store changed, so it's not something that you can really apply anymore on your own brand.
Okay. Even with the newer courses, you think they're not?
Newer, okay, but it really needs to be less than 3 months. If it's older than that, you're gonna have like some things that worked in the past but don't work anymore today.
So course creators need to update their strategies all the time,
Yes.
add new things all the time.
Yes, and I don't know how really you can scale it if you need to record content every single week to update just your model and stuff. So I would be more on the coaching mentorship side, that having someone behind you that can really push you, understand your mistakes, understands your brands, your image, than just having some video course that is very general about how to sell and something like that. It's not specific enough and doesn't apply to your brand and needs.
Yeah. So that's what you do yourself a bit with one-on-one and stuff. I saw you coach a lot of people
Yes.
one-on-one.
And like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, it was something I do on the side because it's my time. So I don't want to spend, hours behind someone that is not really motivated to scale and to grow and to learn. We know that, and that's like a general statistic, 80% of the people that maybe buy a course will never even launch something, never even finish the course because they're lazy, because life just comes back in and they have other, how can I say, priorities. So I really want to work with dedicated people that want to, make their brands a living off it or something big. Yeah.
Interesting. And so you had 3 court cases against PayPal, if I'm not mistaken, almost €1 million in fees and frozen and stuff like that. So yeah, if your business was really legit, why would anyone block you? That's what some people ask sometimes. Like, why would anyone block you then?
No, that's true. When you arrive at certain points, especially in ecom, it's not about not shipping or selling scammy stuff. It's just that at some point, even if you do things 100% right, you will have some assets that are frozen. We made the mistake back in the days in 2020, 2021 to rely a lot of PayPal because, for example, in Germany, 90% of our customers are purchasing through PayPal. And PayPal just starts putting some revisions on your account that are pretty standard procedure, just putting a revision, just understanding better your business. But then in the meantime, money continued to get accumulated on the account. And then you think that the account will be unlocked in a week, which is not. It comes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And all the time where you couldn't access your funds are getting accumulated. So at some point, PayPal shuts down your account. You don't even know why. They don't give you a date on when it gets unlocked or something. So you have to hire lawyers that are fighting these. And we won these court cases. So I'm glad we got the money back. It's just all the hassle will come in at some point. And you can ask any entrepreneur in e-commerce. They had maybe a Stripe account that got blocked. They had maybe a PayPal, maybe a Shopify payments. These things happen. So it's sad, but it's true. And these are banks. After all, banks can block you. We saw also the case with Andrew Tate and everything that happens to him. So yeah, that's part of the process.
And how can people better mitigate that? Like, how can they just having multiple?
You need to be as compliant as possible with the platforms. Of course, if you do e-commerce, you need to update all your tracking numbers. You need to make sure that customers are getting their items as fast as possible, and also the good item. Because if you're just selling some counterfeit thing, or if it's just not responding to what the customer ordered online, you're gonna have some disputes as well. So we want to keep this dispute rate as low as possible. Of course, having also great customer service, having people responding to social media messages, to your emails, to day after day. And I'm not saying about like wait 3 days before replying to someone. We are in an era where everything goes fast. And even having an online chat can help a lot decreasing this risk of disputes or claims.
Especially with AI now, like it's
100%. You don't have any excuses anymore.
Yeah.
Right now, you have robot AI that can just directly reply with generated replies about what's happening or track your tracking number to see where the package is. There's no excuse anymore.
And what do you think of all this marketing manipulation that I see all the time, even because myself too, I shop sometimes in e-commerce stores, and I see a lot of marketing manipulation, like fake scarcity, fake discounts, or just like fake reviews, bad packaging. Like, what do you think of that?
I think there's a way of doing things once again. If you just start to blindly put some discounts that shouldn't even exist, putting in an offer that is not even true, or not shipping your own products, or putting a bad package, then you're just lying about your brand. There is, beautifying things and lying about them. There's really a gap between those two. You can't really beautify a bit your packaging, have a great light, have a great way of presenting your product. But if you're showing something and advertising something that you're not shipping, then in the end, it's like, I don't know, you buy a phone on the market, you buy an Apple phone and you receive some Chinese counterfeit item at your house. You'll freak out. It's the same thing. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the customers. They are ordering something. For some, it can be a lot of money, even if it's just 30, 40, 50 bucks. It can be a lot of money for some smaller income family. So you need also to satisfy them, offer them quality, and not these Chinese AliExpress crap that we saw years ago. This is not something that works anymore.
Speaking of that, you have your own warehouse in China, right? So why did you not want to stay with AliExpress or solutions like Zendrop?
Okay, I started working with this. I started having this warehouse in China because first on AliExpress the margins are way different. You don't have any control on the inventory. You don't have any control on the thank you cards, the packaging, or the way the product is shipped. So I wanted to have more control about all the supply chain. For these, I had two options. Option A was to go with CJ, dropshipping, Zendrop, those type of platforms. The only thing is that these platforms are taking big margins. This is how they make money. They make money on the shipping, they make money on the product. So at some point, if you want really to reduce the cost at the maximum, you need to either have a private agent or like here, opening your own warehouse where you have a team that receives the product, inspect the product, can send you some photos, videos about how they feel, the quality and so on, prepare the packaging. So care about how the product is packed, how you have the thank you card that's inside or any other side gift or side accessory that is part of the package, and they will ship it also for you. They will care also about the logistics and see where the status is. So it's really a full control on the supply chain until it's delivered at the customer's home, and you can just take it from there, see the satisfaction, see if they leave a review on your store and so on.
And do you have any warehouses in Europe as well on top of China? Or?
I thought about it, but the thing is that shipping from Europe is ironically more expensive than shipping from China.
Really?
So even if you save, like it's maybe 2-3 days faster from Europe. So for example, if I have a warehouse in France and I want to ship to Germany, I will of course ship it way faster, maybe in 48 hours even. But the cost of logistics will be higher than if I ship from China. So I prefer that people wait 2-3 extra days, but I can decrease my margins than just having this elite customer experience, but at a higher cost for my business.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, because I mean, I'm pretty sure like some other big brands have also warehouses in Europe.
Yes, they do. And it's mostly if you ship within your own country, while we are in all the biggest markets in Europe. We are not only in one market, for example, Germany. We can be Germany, Austria, France, UK, also the Scandinavian countries. So we need to have like multiple options. If we had only one dedicated 3PL house, and let's say France, maybe we would have troubles to ship to the UK. It's a bit more complicated.
Okay, and speaking of that, like you're selling mostly in Europe. So with all these taxes, how do brands even make money? Because I saw there was like a new tax thing back in 2021, 2022. I remember you told me, and so the margins must be lower now. And so, how do you guys compete and make money with all these taxes nowadays?
The thing is that most of the brands, especially the beginners, they don't really calculate all the costs that come with a product when you're selling in a specific market. Let's say you're selling in France, where you have the 20% VAT. They will count their cost of product, their cost of shipping, and that's it. They will put a price point and end of the story. While you have so many other, you have the payment gateways percentage, like PayPal will take you 3%, Shopify will take you 2%, the VAT is 20%. So at the end of the month, when they go to their accountant, they will have like so many costs coming in that they didn't calculate at the beginning, that they're like, oh, shoot, my brand will never work this way. Yes, it won't, because you haven't considered all of that from the straight beginning. So it's really important that not making really a business plan, but at least putting your numbers on the table and understanding that you need to at least sell 3.5, even 4x your costs to the price point. So if all costs together are like 20 euros, then you need to sell at least for 60 euros, even more if better. But for this, you need to have an image of your product that corresponds to the price point. So if you are selling, I don't know, this mug, for example, let's say it costs you everything together 5 euros. If you start selling it for 20-25, well, why would I put 20-25 euros in just this mug? What makes it special? So you need to start thinking about the storytelling, copywriting. What emotion brings me this mug? How will I feel once I get it? Sell me this pen, like in The Wolf of Wall Street, right? So all of that needs to consider to justify the selling price point, yes.
Gotcha. Interesting. And for people who don't have much funds to start with, and they still want to get started with e-commerce, but let's say they're students, or let's say they have a job but they don't have like a lot of disposable income to start. What would you recommend, and how can people start with e-commerce even on a budget?
Well, money essentially buys you time, which means that with money you can launch paid ads, which will save you a ton of time about creative testing and just, understanding your market better and knowing if your product is really eligible for this or that market. While if you're a student, like you said, you probably have not money, but you do have time. With the time, you can use that to make organic content, Instagram trials, TikTok organic, trying different formats. Like all it requires is really time. You don't need to be a professional video editor. You don't need to be a professional marketer. You just need to have systems, understanding the trends, and put that in forms. You can use CapCuts or even some free softwares to do so, and market your product right there and see if you get any traction. And right now we have even people making 100,000 of views on TikTok organically, sometimes even 16, 17 years old young people, just because they take action. If you just look at others and just it's theory. You won't get anywhere. The goal is really to get started somewhere, do the videos, push them online, and you have nothing to lose. You're not investing anything else than your own time.
Amazing. So thank you so much. How can people find you if they want to get to the next level and, you know, learn more about e-commerce and learn from you?
If they want to do so, they just can hit my Instagram page, Ferdinand Still, and they can just comment the word Ecom and DM, and I will send you all what they need to go to the next level. Whether you're a student or if you have already funds, we can see your situation and see if you're eligible for one private mentorship. And if not, I can still give you some advice so that you can still get something to accelerate at least your results.
Amazing. So yeah, comment or DM Ecom, Ferdinand's profile, go, and yeah, let's do it.